Good evening, everybody. You know what time it is. It is now 8:30, and we are on with the three black guys. Put your threes up and let them know what's happening. What's
He's in the building.
Tres Negros.
Tres
Tres
negros.
Negros. Was that a hard ER I just heard?
I don't know what it was.
I know that wasn't a hard ER I just heard.
We ain't doing no hard ERs in here.
I thought I heard a hard ER come out of here somewhere. I'm like,
So we want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. We want you to like. We want you to share. We want you to go to the page and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we hit the air. If you're watching this broadcast, please share it out with everybody. Man, we just love being out here. We love talking to everybody. We love sharing ideas. This is a place where you can be yourselves. We ain't got to hide behind no what am I trying to say? You just can be you, you can be free.
And be who you are.
Be who you are.
And be who you be.
We got a special guest tonight, guys. But first, before we get into that, I want to get into let everybody know that these opinions that you hear expressed are especially those that are the people that's on the show that don't represent any.
You can't even say it. See,
I know, dude, because man, I'm hyped, dude. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I know. Finally got over being angry, and now I'm just hyped. What's
Now
up, David?
Now you just hyper.
Right. So, but the thoughts and opinions of the people on this show, and not represented by any company or employee that we may work for. All right, guys, introduce yourselves right quick, and then we're gonna get started because we got a special guest. I know he hyped. We talked earlier today, man. We've been friends for years, but anybody want to say hello? Throw out some threes. What you want to do, Fred? You want to say anything right quick?
What's up, y'all? Man, listen, I need y'all to make sure y'all share this. Get it out there. We're going to be talking about some really good stuff now. If you know some white people, contact your white people. Tell them tune into the show, man. Tune into the show. Get in the comments. I want to hear from them.
right. I got a story to tell about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
All right, guys. So, of course, you know we have been talking about Mr. Floyd, who was murdered on Monday, and it's just been an ongoing thing. We got upset. We got a cop that has been arrested. And we're gonna talk about this third-degree murder for a second, guys, because that's just some absolute garbage. You got murder 1, murder 2, third-degree murder, and then he's all up for, I think, a manslaughter charge. But we'll talk about that. Everybody who logs in, please let us know who you are, where you from, where you get down from. Share this out, guys, and so we can have a good time. All right. I want to introduce our guest. Can we introduce our guest?
Come on, introduce your guest.
All right, we got Pastor Anthony Lovejoy in here with us tonight. Did I tell the name of this night's episode, guys? I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, you
did not tell it to the people. You told it to.
Tonight we're talking about the roof. The roof. The roof is on fire. Do we need to let it burn? Is the question. Do we agree with the writing or not?
The roof is on fire. Do we need to let it burn?
Do we need to let it burn? And we also going to talk about prayer. We're going to talk about black people tired of praying. And that's why I brought on Pastor Lovejoy from the Loving Church. Pastor Lovejoy, sir, welcome to the room and good evening, sir. You still there, Pastor Lovejoy?
What's up, people? What's up?
There he is.
What's going on? He had a delay. That's all.
He got a delay. Okay.
There he is. Hey, Tawana from Alabama.
So, Pastor Lovejoy, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your church, and tell us about your feelings on this matter, about the riot, and if you just want to talk about black people, are we tired of praying? And we got a long show tonight. Let me say this: we got a long show tonight, guys. So
for real,
get prepared. Go ahead, Pastor Lovejoy.
Who are you? Where are you from?
My government name is Anthony Lovejoy. Check this out. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I used to hang out with that gentleman, Stephen Myers, and I was in the projects of Central City on 24th Street there in Birmingham, Alabama. I think they're condos now, but it was the project. It was the hood. I used to hang out with them cats. We used to ride around in Steven's car all day long.
That's your vet.
And then Mario, which is the best bass player on this side of heaven. He listen. I know I'm probably I may not need to say this in this format, but Mario sold me my first gun at Midfield Pond. I'm not sure if he remember that. He sold me a stainless steel 9mm. I bought it from him. So I was gangster. I was gangster back in the day. So anyway, and I got saved, filled the presence of the Holy Ghost, and still cussing. How about that? And so, so listen, and I'm privileged to meet James and his wife. I'm just glad to be here. As you guys, some of you guys know, I pastor the Loving Church here in Harvest, Alabama. We're 10 miles away from Tennessee. It's probably nothing like you've ever seen before. I cuss on stage, believe it or not. I'm not your traditional kind of pastor. I pastor speaks to what we're dealing with tonight. I pastor some millennials who's tired of hell of did I go there already?
Yeah, you did.
They're tired of systemic of telling people to pray and then allow the evilness to slap us across the face. And so I'm the best person y'all probably have on this one to talk about this stuff because it ain't gonna be real churchy once we're done. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, y'all.
Well, all right. That's what we like.
Right.
We're not scared of that at all.
At all. And we appreciate you, Pastor, man. Like he said, we've been friends a long, long time. Riding around in the Chevette, man, riding around the hood, going to MTC, cutting up, doing what we do. But
wait a minute. Hold on. Did you say a Chevette?
Yes.
White, not a Chevette.
Yes. White
Chevette from the phone company, used $500.
Wow, bro.
Yes.
Straight rolling.
Straight rolling.
Deep, y'all. Deep.
In a Chevette.
Yes, sir.
In a Chevette. I had a little woofer. You remember y'all? We used to make them homewood woofer, the little woofers that you put in there. You box it up. You put a frame in it.
Right.
Little amp. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the Chevette.
In the Chevette 4-door hatchback. What? All right, guys. Let's get serious, man. Like everybody, like and share the page. Tell us where you're from and how you doing. What's going on? We got Billy Porter out here. We got Heather Connor on here. We got Linda Evans in here. We got Miss Childs in here. Jay McMillan. All right, guys. So here we go. Let's get serious, man. So we've endured almost a full week now, close to a week now, of dealing with grief, anger, rage, and we've had Minneapolis go up in flames. We've had Atlanta go up in flames. We've had Louisville go up in flames. LA go up in flames. Should we, and here's my thing, and I'm gonna ask everybody this question: should we, or I shouldn't say we, should the protesters, should they turn into rioting? Is rioting right? Is it necessary? Does it answer some questions? Does it solve any problem? And Pastor Lovejoy, I'll let you go since you're the guest. Go.
So the question is should protesting turn into rioting?
Yeah.
And the simple answer to that, and I'm probably going to shock you guys, I'm going to say yes. And I think Dr. King alluded to this. Says rioting is what is it? Rioting is
the language of the unheard.
That's what he said. But can I just take it a step farther? And Jesus is the first rioter. Mm-hmm. Let me submit to you that Jesus was in Matthew chapter 21, he goes, and I'm gonna have to stay on the biblical side to this, guys. So
That's fine.
indulge me for a second. He's in Matthew chapter 21, and he's on a goat, and he's going into town. They're crying, Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. And Jesus pulls up gangster at the temple, and he noticed that there are some people who were labeled as robbers and thieves. And Jesus goes in there gangster style and start flipping over tables. It's not your modern day burning of buildings, but I submit to you that Jesus was mad as hell. Yes. And he goes in there and he flips over tables and he says, all right, fellas, so y'all want to play these games with me? He says, hey, how y'all gonna play your boy like this? My house shall be called the house of prayer. And he says, and you've blankety blank have made it a den of thieves. He says, y'all clean this mess up. I'm gone. I got to go down the cross with some folks. Y'all clean this mess up. And so my answer to that is, and I just know I probably just, it's gonna be some people who are gonna be mad at the way I just digested that scripture, but I'm submitting to you. I'm just submitting to you guys. I think we're tired. And to your point, to you guys, the three guys, to your point, people just tired of the preacher man saying, let us pray. No, they want to put some, okay, I almost cussed right there, right in that little part, I almost cussed. They're tired of that, guys. And what you're seeing now is you're seeing the answer of us being quiet too long. So that's my answer.
Okay. Mario?
Okay, ask the question again. Pose me the question again, Stephen.
Should protesting turn into rioting? Does it solve anything? Does it answer anything? Does it help anything?
Okay. Should protesting turn into riot? Hell yeah. It should turn into riot. Two, does rioting help anything? Hell yeah. It lets you know that we're tired. We are tired of the way things have been going, the way things have not been working in our favor as Black people in this country, and we are tired of the niceties. It's time out for niceties. I've said this the last 2 or 3 times we've been on here. It's nothing pretty about a revolution. It's ugly. And for me, what this says is, okay, we're tired of this. If we don't get what we want on the arrest and prosecution end, if you think we're rioting now, watch what happens if we don't get a prosecution on this thing. So yeah, I think it's purposeful. To answer the short question, yes, I think it's purposeful. I think it's necessary. I don't care about Target. I don't care about AutoZone. I don't care about any of those other places. They got insurance. But people are tired, and this is the way people express it. And it is what it is. You deal with the aftermath of what you've been putting us through for generations. I'm done for now. James?
Okay.
Hey, James? How y'all doing tonight? Everybody's okay. All right. Listen, I think protesting should definitely turn into rioting.
Hold on, James. And you cannot control how a person reacts to what you've been doing to them. Once the beast has been unleashed, you have to deal with it. And however that comes, that's how it comes. Sorry, James. Go.
So yeah, protesting should and a lot of times does turns into a riot. I think that in that and because we had a comment here that says I agree but not looting. Well, so you're always gonna have a certain element that gets involved in certain things. Okay, that's just that's just what happens. Right now, people are in a full-fledged rebellion right now. Okay, I mean, full-fledged rebellion. And when you talk about people rebelling against something, man, anything goes. There's no rules. There's no code. It all flies. I've been asked the question several times. Well, what would you do if they burnt down your house? I would be mad, but I'd grab a broom and start cleaning up, and I would get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I would completely understand why it was done. Of course, I'm not going to like it. It's my house.
Right.
It's my business. Of course, I ain't gonna like it. But I would get it, and I'd make it, and I'd rebuild, and I'd do whatever I had to do. But I would totally understand what's happening. I think the issue is, Steve, is that too many people right now are dealing with the effect and not the cause.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
They want to deal with the effect, and nobody wants to pay attention to and address the cause of it. So I don't care if they burning down everything in these cities. That's simply the effect of something that happened previous. So if you would have dealt with the cause of it, you wouldn't have to be dealing with none of this stuff, burning, looting, stealing, people being shot. You wouldn't have to deal with none of this stuff.
Right.
And the issue is that nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with the cause, man. I've been back and forth with people all day today, and it's the rioters, the looters, and they stealing, and how does that honor his memory and all that old kind of stuff. But why wouldn't y'all this upset when this man was killed?
Right.
Why wouldn't y'all speaking on it then? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, man, I think it's now. Don't get me wrong. I personally think it's unfortunate. I wish it didn't have to come to that. I would never like seeing the destruction of people's property and stuff they work for and their businesses. Never like seeing that. But I understand it. And I think it is what they call a necessary evil.
Well, I got a very long Billy Porter. He hit something up on my phone. Billy, if you would go to the Three Black Guys Show page on Facebook and repost that, man, we can deal with all of those questions and answers that you gave because it's very long. I can't read it. I can't read all that, Billy. you gotta come on Three Black Guys page and say that. And guys, please join the conversation. If you have any questions, and please ask. Please notify us where you're from and what your question is and what your answer is. You may not like anything we say, but please let us know. So, Billy, go to the Three Black Guys Show page and come on and hit us up there, okay, buddy? Ms. Key, is there anything that you want to say about rioting?
I think it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very necessary.
Come on, sister.
I feel like the voice is not heard unless we stand up and show action.
Sometimes we got to cut up, man.
So I'm going to go through a list I put out on Facebook the other day because I stood in the middle of it because me always wanted to be the median person, man. But me and Pastor Lovejoy, we had a long talk. What was that? Tuesday or Thursday morning? He and I had a long talk, man, and I kind of stood on both sides of it. But today there was an instance at my house that has pushed me forward and changed my mind. But can I read to y'all a couple things? And I'm not quantifying or qualifying my decision to say that rioting is necessary. It's a necessary evil. Protesting is very necessary. But when you protest, it often goes still unheard and it becomes a riot. But also rioting goes unheard also. It's like I heard like Pastor Dixon and some other people say, why, you raise your voice when you tell a child to do something and they don't do it. So what do? You get louder.
Mm-hmm.
And still when they don't do it again, they get louder and louder. You get louder and louder until you're almost hyperventilating at the child and yelling at the child and threatening the child to do what it needs to be done. So check this out, guys. This is what they haven't heard us. They ain't listening. Check this out. There was a riot in Harlem back in 1964. They didn't hear us. Watts riot in 1965. They didn't hear us. All of 1968, they did not hear us. In New York City, They didn't hear us at 1973. 1982 in Miami, they did not hear us. Miami, 1982, didn't hear us. LA, 92. Ferguson, 2014. New York, 2014. Oakland, 2014. Baltimore, 2015. Charlotte, 2016. Minneapolis, 2020. Louisville, 2020. We've been fighting this fight. We have been protesting in the streets since 64, and this is not a comprehensive list. I think I heard somebody say today, in chaos comes a leader. And we as a culture and as a people, we're looking for our leaders now. I remember Moses stood up when he saw one of his homeboys getting the snot beat out of him, rose up and rioted. Unfortunately, he killed a man, but he didn't let his brother get beat like that to death. So my thing is, when it comes to rioting, I still don't agree totally, but it's a necessary evil to get someone's attention. Guys, right now we have the world watching United States of America.
Right.
I think you guys have seen that Ireland is protesting. South Africa is protesting. Germany is protesting. And some other nation states really, what are you doing protesting? You have nothing to do with us. But it is now time for people to rise up. Tony, do you think a leader will rise up in this? Pastor Tony?
I do. I do. Honestly, I do. I think it's happening right before our eyes. I'm looking at 3 of them already. When you bring awareness to a particular hostile situation, it's either, I'm a Birmingham dude. Either you're gonna barbecue or mildew. And by the way, let me pause and just parenthetically insert here that anytime a change is needed, it's always irritating. And the question is, if you're going to be the man, and I'm not talking about gender, but if you're going to be the leader, step up and be the leader. Otherwise, keep your mouth closed and let those that have a voice talk. And I think you guys using this platform, using what you have here now, is actually it's igniting you guys to be leaders and to give voice to a place that no one else has a voice. So I think, yes, sir. I think you guys are doing a justice to a community of people who have been crying and who have been crying for hundreds of years. And so maybe this is what's necessary. I hate my brother died, but maybe this is necessary for us to be heard.
Right. And I think the fact that you have you named all the places that people are rioting, or not rioting, but protesting. I would venture to say in support of what's going on here. That says a lot when people outside of your country are standing with you.
Dude,
and we've been asleep for a long time here in the U.S. Because you always hear about riots and things in other countries. We've been asleep for a long time over here. And I think people have just been sitting around waiting on us to wake up. And I think they see this as an awakening of some sort. That's why I believe they're standing with us.
Somebody said that Japan is there were people in Japan also protesting. And we have to make a difference, man. There's a difference between rioting and protesting. Right. But I believe because the protesting is not being heard, it turns into a riot. I like this question. I like this question here, Lindsay from Birmingham. She said, "What's the best way white people do to support the movement, or can do to support the movement?" Pastor?
First, okay, and that's a very good question, because first what has to happen is in any relationship, in order for the relationship to progress or become better, we first must acknowledge the problem. Once the problem has been acknowledged, then the person has to be able to assume the responsibility of the problem that they created. You can't tell me you want to solve this problem and you're not willing to listen to me.
Mm.
It's an effort and futility. And so if a white person really wants to help, here's what I suggest. Start by listening. And start by, watch this, by owning the problem that you created. If you're not willing to do that, please don't waste time saying that you want change when in fact you don't. And I'm not suggesting that all white people are just, just these horrible people. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is you haven't even apologized for the sins you've committed over 500 years ago.
Come on.
And you expect us to get over a problem that we've had. I really want to get graphic with this one, but I'm going to stay.
Come on, Doc.
I'm going to stay there.
This is what this platform is for, is to be real and have real conversation.
Yeah, but be careful, because I may go here. I may go here. And I'm not being insensitive to those that have been raped. I'm not being insensitive, but you can't rape me and then tell me it's my fault because I had on tight jeans. You can't do those things. You can't rape me and then leave me. Oh God. Okay. What I'm simply suggesting to you guys, because I want to say some other things that's very, very graphic, but I'm as an illustration, but what I'm suggesting is, and that may be a person who really, really genuine wants to know what they could do to support us. I would suggest do like I was talking about on my video, shameless plug, on my video, when I talked about Matthew 18, and if you found your brother overtaken in fault, you that are strong, you go to your brothers and talk to them. If you know there's something that's wrong, and sin is anything that goes contrary to the righteousness of God, if you find your brother, you white people, if you found something that's wrong with what was done, you have a responsibility and an obligation to go to your brother who's doing the evil and say, hey, that's wrong as hell.
Yeah.
We need to repent for what we've done and we need to make it right. Otherwise, be quiet, sit down on the sideline and continue to do your little nice little white privilege. Okay, so I told y'all, I'm probably not for this.
That was good. Yeah. That was good, Pastor. I'm gonna pick it back off of what you said. You
go ahead, Mario.
I'm piggybacking off of what he said. You asked what you could do. What you can do is address racism in the circles that you run in. I think that's basically what you were trying to say. If you are a white person and you know the circles that you run in, you know the little racist jokes that people tell, you know the little racist thing, you know the mentality of the people that you run with. Address it there. That's one thing you can do. Address it where you see it. Stop it where you see it. You have to work from the inside out to change people's mentality. I don't run with your circle, white people. You know, my core friend circles are black folk. I do have some white friends, but my core friend circles are black. I can't affect the change in there. You can affect the change from the inside out. So address racism where you see it in your circles.
Next. I was gonna say the same thing, and we've been talking about this, I think, ever since we started this whole show. And when we talk about racism and when we talk about hatred, well, first of all, we can't. Black people can't do anything about people's hatred. That's a heart thing. That's something that God's gonna have to deal with. We can't root out hatred. That's just something that somebody's gonna have to get before God and repent for. The second thing is about racism is that white people, I love y'all. I got white friends. I got good white friends. I'm sorry, I stopped. Let me stop. I'm not racist. I got white friends. Okay. But anyway, First of all, you need to stop saying dumb crap like that. I don't see color. That's two things that piss me off. Don't ever say that around me ever again.
Yes.
If you're white and you say something like that, I'm going to disown you. Stop saying that. I don't see color. I played for a white church, and I had a lady told me that she didn't see color. And I said, lady, you are a liar, because if you did, you wouldn't stop at red lights. So anyway, the second thing you can do is influence the people that are around you. It is very important that white people, it is no longer, the onus is no longer on black people to fix racism. It's not on us. We can't do it. It's something that y'all have to deal with in your families. You're going to have to check this out. You're going to end up being the black sheep of your family. You're going to be the black sheep of your friends. You're going to be the black sheep of your church, because it's no longer on us to fix racism. We come to the kumbaya table too many times. And I'm not going to go off, because my brothers have already heard me say this. I say burn the kumbaya table down until white people are ready to come to it and build a new one, because bump all that. It's up to white people to fix racism. Black people can't fix this. And me and Lovejoy said this before. I know you itching, James. I'm gonna let you. I want to say hey to DeLon. He's on here with us. And my mom. Hey, mom. Hey, Carol.
That's what I want to say. Hey to Miss Churchill. Hey, Miss Churchill, how you?
All right. I know, Fred. I know you got something to say on this. And then, of course, I want to talk about your favorite subject, black on black crime. James. So go ahead. I want you to talk on those two things. What can white people do? And then let's talk about when people start saying black on black crime during these situations.
So, as far as what can white people do to support, man, only thing that really, for me, what gets me is,
hey Tracy, too easy,
is to stop trying to understand everything that's going on right now. If you don't get it, it's okay you don't get it. But stop trying to get us to explain it to you. Because if I have to explain it to you, then you'll never get it. Okay? You're not going to. And that's okay. It's okay that you don't understand it. It's okay that you don't understand why people that are tired of being bullied are simply fighting the bully back. It's cool that you don't understand that, but stop trying to get us to explain it. Right now, we are not focused. Well, let me rephrase that. I am not focused on trying to make sure that you are comfortable right now.
Wow.
Right.
That does not mean I don't care about you. That does not mean I hate you or I don't like you. It just simply means that my focus is not trying to make sure that you're comfortable during this uncomfortable season that we're in. So just relax. If you want to stand with us, man, put your hands in the air, put your mask on, and go protest somewhere. And that's fine. But leave it at that. Because what I'm saying is that a lot of white people want us to comfort them. But what about me? I'm not racist. Well, okay, if you're not racist, then you're not racist. And listen to my black folks. Stop apologizing to your white friends. If they are truly your friends, then they'll know that when you talk about it, you're not talking about them.
Right.
The people that I call my friends, that are my white friends, are not offended by anything that I've said on this show or that I say, period, because they know I'm not talking about them. If the shoe ain't fitting, you can't wear it. You know what I'm saying? So stop apologizing. I keep seeing people that post stuff and then they turn right around and apologize. But to my white friends, I ain't talking about y'all. Don't be offended. We ain't got time for that right now.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
A hit. You understand what I'm saying?
What
hit dog will holler. A hit dog will holler. You understand what I'm saying? So if they're hollering at you, you might have touched the nerve.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Pastor Lovejoy hit a dog this afternoon on his Pastor Lovejoy, he culture canceled a group of people he was in, and they began to holler pretty bad at him. And he got stuck a little bit. There he is. He's back. All right. And so I mean, but that's sometimes you're gonna have to do that. Look at Tracy. Tracy here. She says, "What's up, Tracy?" With 2 E's. Tracy said they can shut up with advice. I love Tracy. She said I had to cancel somebody that I called for 10 years because of her ignorance. She spewed her hatred and privilege today, and we're no longer friends. And Pastor, can you explain? Because I was on your page. I saw somebody try to come for you. And, of course, people that try to come for my friends, I ain't about to have it. Can you speak to maybe having to counsel some people that are in your life?
Well, that particular person is part of a group that I'm a part of because I have a Jeep, and it's called the Rocket City Wranglers, and it's about 4,000 Jeeps around here in the North Alabama area. And so I was a part of that, and there's very few of us in the of our kind, Black people that has Jeeps as a part of this group. What I saw today, and watch this, and let me explain my position with this. I don't have a problem with you having a problem with us. At least I know it. And so to be a part of something that you felt that way about me. When you start calling people of my kind terrorists, and that we all replace the rubber bullets with something else, and I'm not a fool and I'm not crazy. If you're going to replace rubber bullets, what are you going to replace them with?
Right.
Bullets.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, and you're pushing this particular narrative for stuff to happen, and you think I want to be a part of it? Let me just tell you the problem with that. That's exactly what the people that look like me, that wear the clergy collars, that's exactly what we're doing. And when we stay a part of those things, we validate the evilness that they perpetuate. And I was not going to be a part of that. I was not going to be a part of that. And I was not going to sign off or co-sign on stupidity and evilness. Those days, and I told y'all on my post, those days are over. I will no longer be silent. And I think the problem is, Steve, James, Mario, I think the problem is too long the preachers have been quiet because they hold the mortgages to our church.
Wow.
And we got some of that stimulus money for the church. And we're not in a position where we're going to stand up and be counted for. The devil is a lie. I'm going to call it what it is. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I don't give a damn. Oh, I just said that. I don't care if you like it or not. It matters not to me. And it matters not to me what you think about me because of what the stands that I take. At some point, somebody has to stand up. Come on, Jesus. And go against the grain of what everybody else does. And honestly, and you can tell it in my presentation, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Watch this. Can I bring this full circle as a preacher?
Come on.
I'm tired of praying.
Wow.
Let me just quote Andrew Jackson when he says this. He says, take time to deliberate, but when action comes, stop thinking and go in. Let me replace deliberate with prayer. When the time for prayer has come, pray. But when the time for action has come, get your ass off your knees, stop praying, and go in and do something.
Wow.
That's my thing.
Man, I might need to take, we might need to take a DNA test. We might be brothers for real. I'm serious.
Okay.
You deliver it like I would deliver, son. I ain't got to be that black guy on this show tonight. You're doing a good job, now, Pastor Lovejoy. But I agree with you 100%, man. I'm right there in your pocket. I'm at the point now, and I've talked to Steve about it. I said I can't pray no more. And you know, pray for me, y'all out there. Those of you who are moved to prayer, but It's time for action now. We've been praying for ever, you know, and I'm past waiting to get to yonder to get what we supposed to have now.
Come
I'm
on
past,
now.
you know what I'm saying? The sweet mind. No, I need mines. I need, and I'm gonna use incorrect. I need mines with an S now.
Right.
You feel me? I ain't waiting till the sweet by and by. No, sir. You're gonna treat me like a human now. You're gonna give me what's mine now.
Right.
That's it. It's
So,
time for action.
question I'm going to answer Billy. Billy, man, if you want to be on the show, text me or you can inbox me your email address, and we'll see about getting you on. Now, once again, now we've had somebody on the show before. We had a counsel, and they started talking crazy. We're gonna cancel you. But you are welcome to give your opinion on the show. Inbox me or message me your email address, and maybe we can get you on.
Now, I don't know the actor Billy Porter.
But
I know this is not the actor Billy Porter that
No, it's not
wore the
the
dress.
no.
I'm just saying. Okay.
So can we continue on in the prayer thing, man?
Tracy, wait a minute, man. Tracy put a call out to us, man. Look at that last comment.
Where's she at? The last one?
Yeah. She said, we need 3 black men to hold a rally.
Woo.
Oh, I thought.
Woo.
Uh-oh.
Woo.
Is that a challenge, Miss Tracy? I hold a rally now.
Woo.
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 So I want to continue. I want to continue on, man, because I know that a lot of. And then he said, "No, I'm not an actor, but I'm a man of God, just like the pastor on there." Okay, so Billy, shoot me your email address, man. Don't put it on here public because you might get some emails you don't want.
Right.
Right, give me some message. I want to continue on this, and then we're gonna move on to Church of the Highlands and the hot water that the pastor, or what's his name, Chris Hodges, seems to be finding himself in. I want to ask everybody this: are black people tired of praying? Now, the Bible says that we should never cease from praying, and we should always pray for our leaders, and that we have all the scriptures for that. All the men of God, we know these scriptures. But are we tired of praying on this when it comes to this situation? You know what I'm saying? And can I be honest with me? I'm gonna be honest as a man of God and a preacher of the Word of God. I'm tired of praying on this situation. I'm ready to act on it. I'm ready to do what God has called me to do, and that's lift up my people. That's what I've been called to do. And I talked to Pastor Lovejoy about this, man. He heard my heart, man. We were crying on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Because of the heat that's on it, and the heat that we're gonna get for bringing a message that's gonna empower people. Because whenever you start to empower people, that's when they start trying to get at you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, I'm tired of praying about the situation. I'm tired of marching about the situation. I'm tired of protesting about the situation. It's time out. It's time for black people to unify. And that's going to be hard. But we still have to unify. We still have to do it. And I'm going to let James talk. James, what about you? Do you think about prayer? Is black people tired of praying, or are we at the point now where we're ready to get something done?
Well, I'm like you. I think black people are tired of praying about this particular situation, man. We've been praying for peace and praying for equality and praying for inclusion for years. For years, man. And it has just not happened. And the funny thing is that it's always black folks who's being told to pray. Like, we gotta pray. But my thing is, if the other side ain't praying, if they don't want the same thing that we want, then what's the prayer doing? What is it actually doing? I think, like Pastor was saying, man, yes, there's always a time to pray, but there has to be some corresponding action to go with that prayer. And if not, I think we praying for ourselves. You can't just keep saying, Lord, can you help us? Lord, can you can you stop this? Lord, can you give us? Lord, bless your people. Lord, and then we sitting around not doing nothing instead of taking what these folks are doing. So I think, man, just the quick answer, yes, people are tired of praying.
Mm.
But
Well,
I think they're tired of praying for this situation.
Y'all got to disagree on some. Anyway, can we talk about Chris Hodges, one of the biggest churches here in Birmingham, Alabama, and we're getting big across the world, Church of the Highlands. He has been caught, I wouldn't say caught, some things have come to light about his affiliation and his liking the a white wing white supremacist when it comes to the, and we can talk about this, believing that white supremacy exists. James Fred, do you want to say anything about that going into
White
that?
supremacy or white privilege?
White privilege. I'm sorry, white privilege. Thank you for
White
correcting.
privilege.
So all right, let me choose here. Let me be careful. Hold on.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so
I'm getting to you, Billy. I'm getting to you, brother.
So here's my thing, and it's because I've seen black members of the church defending what he said and trying to downplay it. Let me explain to everybody, okay? This is not simply a member of this church that got caught liking some posts on a white supremacist page. This is a pastor, okay? If you are a member of a church of that church, this is your pastor, your spiritual leader, okay? Yes, his personal beliefs and feelings are going to affect his preaching and his influence on you. Stop thinking that it's not. Okay?
It is.
Stop thinking that it's not. It is definitely going to. So my whole thing is, if you want to stay a part of that church, then fine. But understand your pastor. Understand that his belief system, the way he feels about white privilege and all that kind of stuff, it didn't change just because he got caught. He hasn't all of a sudden stopped feeling that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He still feels that way. So when he gets up and preaches Sunday and teaches Wednesday or whatever how it is they work, you got to understand those feelings about that are there. So as a black person, you might have to think about that, about how you feel sitting in front of a man who feels that way, who feels that white privilege in 2020, with all that's going on, feels that white privilege does not exist. Because my question would be to him, I need to know, what else do you feel like? Do you feel like systematic racism is real? Do you feel like police brutality is real? What else? You know what I'm saying? Like, this could go a lot further than what people are thinking. That, because I mean, bottom line is, a lot of white people don't think white privilege exists. I don't want to just single him. A lot of white people think that. A lot of people think it. But with him being a pastor and a leader of this big church, I think that poses a problem. I think it poses a conflict of interest of him being objective in his preaching. So because as a megachurch pastor of a multicultural church that he needs to be able to speak to black issues. He needs to be able to speak to Mexican issues. He needs to be able to speak to Asian issues. That as a leader of that type of church, he needs to be able to do all that. He cannot do that if he does not believe in certain things. So I think people need to take heed and kind of tread lightly when it comes to that.
Okay. May I?
Pastor Lovejoy. Well, I was gonna ask Pastor Lovejoy, and then we'll come back to you, Mario.
Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead, Pastor.
Okay, so I don't want to ever seem like I'm sugarcoating anything. So into to that degree. Let me make sure, because as a man of God, we deal with so much, and we deal with the dishonor of people, and we deal with people not understanding our objective and what God has called us to. And so sometimes you take the hits for it, but you can't be in this business and not think you're not going to get hit. However, let me be clear about this. And I think I said this. Jesus alludes to this to Simon, Bishop Peter. Peter, and he says, "Hey, Pete, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." And in John chapter 21, he says, "Okay, feed my sheep." Then he asks him again. He says, "I'm really not sure if you really heard the question." He says, "Do you really, really love me?" And I know we talk about the phileo and the agape type of love. He says, "Feed my sheep." And then he changed the narrative and he says, "Feed my lamb." Okay, but David depicts in chapter 23 that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Calm waters, he restored my soul. Here's what I'm suggesting to you. That a shepherd is supposed to lead the people into places that is healthy and that they can eat and there's nutrition for them, not feed them junk food. So watch this. How can you, as a man of God, and I'm not talking about Pastor Chris Hodges, I'm talking in general. How can you, as a man of God, knowing that you shepherd some people of the other persuasion, black people, and you are associated with that particular evil? I lose trust in you. I lose trust in you. And if I'm giving my tithes and offerings, if I'm paying your salary, if I'm paying your car note and all those things, at least you could do is lead me to a place that's healthy and honest, as opposed to a place that's evil. And when you like something, you're validating the evilness of that. I saw that mess and I was appalled at it because I like Pastor Chris Hodges. I like what he's doing. I love what he's doing at the Church of the Highland. But what I cannot stand by and support is you're liking a white supremacist who is trying to debunk white privilege. No, I can't stand by that and endorse that. And by the way, and let me just say this, I don't mean to take up too much time.
You fine.
I think it's the responsibility of the people who go to Church of the Highlands to go and talk to them and find out your man of God stance and ask him for an accountability. Because watch this, much is given, much is required. And I think he needs to answer to that. I think he needs to answer to that. And I think he owes the people of color some explanations as to why did he like that food. That's my.
And it's not helpful. Now, if him as a influencer, a white pastor, how is he then now going to impart something to the conversation? Because now you have tainted yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Can we really take you seriously if you're liking whatever this guy's name, Charlie Kirk? If you're over here and you're liking this person's stuff and you're agreeing with him, how can you therefore have a conversation with somebody else and saying to ratify or reconcile a relationship of the races or the color of people? How can you then implement a program and truly be effective? You've tainted yourself. You've tainted yourself. You know what I mean? Can we really? I'm talking to myself. So, I mean, how can you do that? It's very hard now. It's very hard for him to be able to say, okay, let's come together. When I see that you over here, taking pictures with 45, and we've lost Pastor.
Yeah, you get it back.
Okay, we lost the video. Okay, so but how you do that? It's gonna be very hard. Mario, you're gonna say something about it, man. I'm gonna let you say.
I got a couple of things to say, but I saw an article come up. He's the Church of the Highlands, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I saw an article come up before this one. This was earlier on in the week that said that he made a statement that white privilege is a myth.
Right. It's the same one. It's the same thing.
That's the same article.
Yeah, same type of article. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. I thought they were two different articles.
No, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. But see,
Yeah.
I was trying to see how I'm gonna say this. I grew up in Wylam, here in Birmingham, a little community called Wylam, and I was kind of touched on it last week. And I told you certain parts of Wylam that we couldn't be in, we couldn't go in.
Right.
Those
Right.
were the white only areas, and it bothers me when white people. Um, there we go. He's coming back in. We got you back. We got you back. It bothers me when white people say they don't see white privilege. Well, you don't see white privilege because you've been living in it and under it all of your life. If you truly don't see it, I had a classmate that I grew up with in Wylam from kindergarten to eighth grade. I posted a video on my page. Um, it was a 40-minute video by Eunice Elliott. And she did a beautiful job breaking down what white privilege was and gave examples. And I'm like, whatever the lowest IQ you can have could listen to her and understand what white privilege is. And she wasn't doing it for us. She was doing it for her white friends because, so that classmate that I grew up with, I'm not calling his name, he saw the title of the video. I see in the comments, he said bullshit. So I asked him, I said, well, what about what I posted is BS? And his response was, he said, I don't agree with everything always being turned into a racial issue. Destroying all these cities isn't helping anything. Just a reason for ignorant people to be ignorant, white or black. Okay. Well, I looked at the thing again and I said, well, that sounds like deflection to me because nothing in the 40-minute thing that she gave said anything about what was going on in the riot. Had nothing to do with the riot. She was just breaking down what is white privilege. So to me, that's a deflection tactic that we often see when you're dealing with and talking to white people about white privilege. They'll deflect. So I kind of rallied them back in. I said, you made a comment. You made the comment bullshit that in response to the information. I said, you made a comment BS. Was that in response to the information? In this video I posted, or in response to the riots, which was not covered in this video. Now, if you want to talk about the riots, we can. That's a different conversation, and we can have it. But what about this video I posted about white privilege was BS? I said, also, did you watch the entire video, or did you just watch a portion of it until you got offended and then turned it off? Well, he came back to me and said, sorry, I didn't watch the video because, yes, the term white privilege does bother me. I never felt privilege unless you want to count the 5 times someone has tried to rob me. I don't know what that has to do with anything. That's just more deflection, in my opinion. And that's what we deal with. It's hard for us to have an honest conversation with white people. That's why I say it's not up to us to come to the kumbaya table anymore, because you can't honestly have a conversation anymore with white people about white privilege, because if they don't agree with it, they'll deflect. That's what I've seen time and time again. How can you have an honest conversation? And I pose that question. Can an honest conversation be had with a white person about white privilege? If they don't want to see it, they won't see it.
Okay.
So we go back to this pastor who said white privilege is a myth. He's a direct beneficiary of it. Either he refuses to see it, you know what I'm saying, or he's lying. He sees it. I'm done. Go ahead.
Hey, Steve, don't forget about Mr. Porter.
He hadn't come in. I sent him a link. Billy, I sent you the link, Doc, and you got to go through the link. Check your email. The email that I get that was given. I sent a link to your email. So check that out. See if you got it. Okay. So I want to talk about this one other thing, guys. We've been on for an hour, but I do want to talk about this. And I had to say something on my page because it seems that now we're finding we got a lot of Uncle Ruckuses. I'm not calling people Uncle Toms no more because that's not right. That's not doing Uncle Tom a service. Uncle Tom was the man that was trying to help folks out.
Oh, sure. Right.
Okay. And so, but now we got a bunch of Uncle Ruckuses. So I want to give this to James because he deals with a lot. When people are saying, well, what about black on black crime? Y'all don't do all this marching when it's black on black crime. Y'all don't do all this marching when a white cop kills a white person. Y'all don't do all this. Why y'all only do this when it happens when it's a white cop and a black person? What y'all do about the homie shooting a homie in the street?
Well, that's funny because I was asked that very question today in a conversation that I had. And so I posed this question. I said, if there was a video with me with my knee in a man's neck and that man died on the video, do you think I would have been able to go home and cook me something to eat and kick my feet up for a minute and wash clothes and take a shower and chill out at the house for how many days before that man was arrested?
Quite a few. About a week.
I told him that black on black crime is an issue. And it is an issue that black people will and have dealt with. Has nothing to do with this particular conversation or this issue. So what people try to do is that they want to make it seem like you've got to tie it all together. So if I protest about one act of violence, then I've got to protest about all acts of violence. And that's just stupid and not true. That's just stupid and not true. Because the thing is, when Pookie killed Leroy, that was a beef between Pookie and Leroy that they had, and it went left. So Pookie shot Leroy. Okay? It happened. It was an argument that happened. When we protest against police brutality, it's because somebody was standing outside of a store selling cigarettes, or somebody supposedly wrote a bad check, or in the case of Philando Castile, he was doing actually everything the police officer told him to do, and still got shot. So yeah, it's normally what I tell people is shut the hell up. It's normally my first response to that.
Yes.
That's normally the first response. Yeah, shut the hell up. Yeah. Shut the hell up, or shut whatever up, because but you guys, what's funny, and I can say this is that it's normally, just like Steve said, more of the Uncle Ruckuses that come at me with that. Like, I've had a few white people say it. I have had a few white people, but it's normally these bootlicking coon.
Oh yeah.
Hold it.
I like you, James. I like you, man.
normally, yeah, it's normally them that come at me with that stupidness, man. And like, what was the boy name last week on the show?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, the boy with that silliness, man. It's like, first of all, your whole argument for it is stupid. Okay, Black on black crime, white on white crime, whatever. It's logistical. Black crime happens in black neighborhoods. White crime happens in white neighborhoods. So that whole argument to me is just stupid anyway. First of all, no, I'm not. Do I have a problem with it? Absolutely. But I ain't protesting that. I'm not. I don't need to protest because I know the outcome of that. I know the outcome of that. Pookie going to jail, period. 100% period. I don't have to protest for justice for Leroy because Pookie going to jail.
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I got to protest because Officer Peabody killed a man and went home.
Right.
That's why I got to protest this. There's no need for me to protest Leroy getting killed because Leroy's killer is in jail.
Or dead with him.
Or dead, right. So there's no protest needed. The justice is there, idiot. So my thing is, what we're protesting is the fact is the justice part.
Yes.
The protest would not have happened if the man had got arrested right there for murder. There would have been no need to protest at that point. All we got to do is make sure he's charged properly and he's sentenced. But all this other stuff would not be happening had that happened. People had to protest because the man went home. Do you hear me? He went back to the office, clocked out, went home after killing somebody on video.
On video.
Not just a picture. Not just a picture. A video.
Right.
And he went home for days, man, with his feet kicked up with a cigar in his mouth. Drinking Kool-Aid and watching Netflix.
Yeah.
So come on, man. Yeah, you got to protest that stuff. You got to protest because if anybody else, even the people that asked that question, if any one of us had done that, any one of us, we wouldn't have made it to our man, please. There's no way we would have made it home.
Right.
So what's the difference? It was clear-cut murder. The other officers saw it. Why wasn't he arrested? And so now you want the protest to stop, but you still got 3 other officers out there at the house.
Chilling.
So no, the protests will not stop. And let me say this right quick too. To the folks that watch this man die, listen, when we get the cops, we coming after y'all too. Now we ain't gonna kill y'all, but y'all need to be slapped. We need to slap y'all. We need the folks standing on the street, the guy with the camera phone watching it, you know, bruh, like you just watching this man die. Like throw a shoe or something. Do something.
So let me ask you a question. So they standing there pleading for this guy's life. You in the process of killing one guy. Do you really think somebody's gonna run up on him?
Please, yes. Listen, throw a shoe, a rock, a bottle, a boot, a stick, or something. Don't just sit there and videotape the man dying. Like I mean, listen, Mario. Let me tell you something. You ever around me and they got a knee in my neck? Man, you better throw a shoe or something. Throw the guitar, throw your hat, throw something at me, man. Don't stand there and let that man kill me.
Oh, okay.
Throw your shirt.
That's easier said on this side. I think that the statement you just made is easier said on this side of the camera.
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
Listen, if you got to throw something, turn around and act like you didn't throw it. Throw something.
That's
but Mario, we cannot keep just watching it happen. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe not one person could have did something. There was a crowd of people there. If you walk up on that man and say, get up off of him, he is going to move. We cannot.
It was a white black woman. It was a white woman, a black woman, and what? A couple of black guys out there.
That's enough.
The person that was taking the video was a 17-year-old girl.
17-year-old girl.
And you know, they talked about her being traumatized by that. So,
Right.
Pastor Lovejoy,
She was a girl?
yeah, the one that took the initial video was a 17-year-old girl.
Okay.
Pastor Lovejoy, what do you think about that when we have these Uncle Ruckuses talking about, well, what about black on black crime? What do you say, or what do you have? What are your thoughts on that?
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I watched the video, I guess you guys did, and that gentleman that looked like he was special. I think his name is Marley or something.
Probably.
That James talked to.
Yeah.
I think white people love those kind of people, and it's like Mario says. I think it's a form of deflection to take their attention off the real issue. You remember back in the day in the black community, Mama told you, or Medill told you. In my case, Medill told me, "Okay, what happens in this house, it stays in this house. We can fight all day long in our house. Excuse my English. You better not take our business out here in the street." And I think that goes back to the white privilege, where you think you have the right to now talk about an issue that's in our community when you don't have the right to do that. Listen to me, because there are some deep-seated issues in the black community that deals with black on black crime. You're dealing with a very angry black man who's been suppressed, who if he has a felony attached to his name, there is no hope for him. And so you're seeing the frustrations of a black man coming out against another black man because you cage us in a particular community and you tell us to leave. So before we get into all of that, we have to understand the origin, where this thing originated from. And please, Mr. Jones, white man, don't tell me how to run the Lovejoy house when you don't understand the existential plight of the black man. Don't tell me that.
Right.
Keep your mouth closed. Okay, James, shut the hell up and mind your business and take ownership of what you have done. And I'm not suggesting to make excuses that the white man did this to us. But you don't have the right to talk about black on black crime when you yourself is a murderer of our people. When you yourself put us in rings together and boxed and told us to box and kill each other. When you yourself will hang a black man on a tree and you call it a picnic. When you yourself have done the injustice, when you rape our women, when you yourself treat us like dogs, don't you? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have the right to tell us about. You don't have the right. And watch this, James. Check this out, man. That dude last week was exactly what. Listen to me. Was exactly what the white man wants. Was exactly what the white man wants.
Yes, sir.
A person or an avenue to deflect from the current reality.
Right.
We weren't even talking about black on black crime. That's what y'all said. That's another time and another show. Right now, what we're talking about is, watch this, a white man with his knee on a black neck.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. So we'll deal with that later. But right now, can we deal with the issue at hand? And watch this. Hey, skinny, crazy looking dude, Molly, whoever you are. And I hope you're watching tonight. Pastor got a couple of words for you. If you don't have nothing good to say, and if you can't promote our cause and the effects, shut your damn mouth and don't say another word until you have something of substance to say. I'm Pastor Lovejoy, and I approve my own damn message.
Woo! Well,
Pastor Lovejoy in the house. We finally got Mr. Porter in with us. Mr. Porter, how are you, sir?
I'm blessed and highly favored. But this is what I really wanted to say, and this goes to the pastors also. Racism had been with us from the beginning of time. You take Exodus, they told them to kill all the Hebrews or Israelites, if you want to put it that way. If you understand what I'm saying and coming out of Exodus. But then yet we still, black people, we still rise. They build jails for us, incarcerated us, and yet we still rise. They set up there and throw us in the river, in the Jordan River. All the young black males, if you can remember in Exodus, they said throw them in the river. Yet we still rise. I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts. Last year, just this year, no telling how many kids, young boys they found in that river. Even in the wintertime when the river was froze, they still found black men in that river. Yet we still rise. Then people want to sit here and talk about black on black crimes. Black on black crimes is totally different. We killed each other because of hatred, love, or whatever. You did something to me, you did something to my family, you stole this, you stole that. But white on black crimes is simply because white people hate you because of the color of your skin. And then we sit up here and want to tear up the country, the town, the city. That don't have nothing to do with it. You can burn up the buildings, you can burn up your neighbor's house next door because they're white. That still don't bring them young black kids back to life. And then we sit back here and want to hate on each other and get mad and riot and picket and do all of this when we need to go back in the Old Testament, eye for an eye. Because if you beat a dog long enough, that dog gonna bite you. And us black people done been beat enough. We gonna have to fight back. We gonna have to strike back. They can get mad at me if they want. If Mr. Charlie run up to me right now, I'm hitting him back. I don't care what nobody say. You can get mad at me. You can shut the show down. I'm not gonna sit up here and continue
I ain't mad at you.
to burn up the store down the street when the man down the street the one killed my nephew. And you can take the pastors, for example. I'm gonna ask you pastors something. If you got a daughter and a white man raped her, what you gonna do? Go off in your parsonage and pray about it? Or you gonna go out there and do something about it?
I got a certain
I'm gonna take care of mine.
Is that
People can get mad if they want to.
Is that
the only way we gonna stop this right now if we strike back? Who's striking us?
Okay,
Target ain't got nothing to do with it. Walmart ain't got nothing to do with it. Go ahead.
Okay, was that addressed to me or? Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead. I see your finger up.
Okay, I'm gonna let Pastor go, and then I'm gonna say something.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear us, Pastor Lovejoy. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to do this real quick. Number one, I'm not even that type of preacher. I was a man before I was saved, and I'm not sure if I really want to be that saved. If you bother one of mine, watch. Excuse me. Hey, Asia and area.
I can't hear you.
Okay, so let me just show y'all something. Let me just show you my thoughts.
I can't hear you.
Come here.
Okay.
Come right here. Okay,
yeah, I can't hear that.
Hold on a minute, Billy.
These are my daughters.
Hey, girls.
If let me be clear about this. All right, y'all can go ahead. Let me
He
be
was showing
clear
her
about
daughter,
this.
Billy.
If you touch one of them, who my blood runs in, I'm telling you now, and I'm being honest with you. I'm not sure if I really want to be that saved, where I'm going to be a weakling and allow you to harm them. So let's be clear about this. I'm a man of the cloth, and I love God with all my heart. But you better believe it's going to be a bad day in hell for those that touch them. I'm telling you right now. So to answer Brother Porter's question, no. What I'm going to do, I'm going to respond. And I'm going to respond accordingly. And watch this. I'm not going to have a Bible in my hand when I do.
Stephen?
Yeah, I'm along with Pastor. If anything happens to my daughter, we're going to have a problem. You know, like I said, I was a nonviolent man for a long time, but if anything happens to my daughter that I just adopted and I love her, hey Tracy Shorter, how are you? Anything happens to my daughter, we can have a problem. Now here I want to go back to this because it was a great segue for me. Killer Mike on last night or night before last spoke to Atlanta, and Killer Mike is a beast to me. He's eloquent, he's smart, but he gave us he spoke last night. He talked about the riots, and that's the one that gave me pause about it. But let me go back to this about attacking or starting a revolution. I just want to. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but I want us to be smart. How many of us own guns? How many of us know how to shoot a gun? How many of us know how to farm?
Right.
Can we plant our own food? Can we harvest our own food?
Right.
Do we have the infrastructure to start a revolution? In other words, if we start a revolution, can we sustain ourselves as a people? Now I know that Pastor Lovejoy, you shoot, James, you shoot, Mario, but do we have an infrastructure ready to say if I go outside and take arms up against the system or the white man or however you want to say it, are we able to sustain that? Now I'm just asking you guys this question because I've always gone back to you've got to have something in place and ready to rock and roll because when the shooting begins, are we ready as a people? Because they've been out in the woods for weeks. I mean, what's that boy named that bombed the two towers? I mean, not the two towers, but that Oklahoma. Right. Yeah, I mean, he bombed the joint and went out to the woods and stayed for weeks because he was ready.
Right.
He did that one. That's the one in Atlanta, the Centennial Park.
No, not that dude. The one that did do Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. That's Unabomber.
So, I mean, he was ready. So, are we as a people, when the shots start to fire, are we ready as a people to have our own government, to have our own businesses, to be able to sustain ourselves? Can we shoot back?
Yes. To answer that question, yes.
And do we need to get ready? Hey, Billy Poor, that's all right, buddy.
Yeah, we are. Now, it has to be structured. And so I do believe that in the midst or in the aftermath of all of this, what you just talked about needs to start to be structured and laid out and planned. Because we have a president that's talking about sending in the military.
Right.
If that was to happen, all hell is going to break loose at that point because the military is going to shoot at people. And when you shoot at people, people shoot back. So that is going to start a whole nother issue if it goes that far. So short answer to your question is yes, I think we are at that point. I think we have enough of us that can shoot and can farm and can structure this thing out to do what it is we need to do. I really believe that. And what I'm seeing is that this incident here is separating the two. And I'm talking about amongst Black people. It's separating because you have a lot of Black people that me and Steve, we talked about it earlier. We're finding out that these people, man, aren't as solid as we thought they were. They're not as, they're Black, but they ain't really with the whole Black thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I love my white friends too much. I don't want to leave my white friends. I don't want to offend my white friends. I don't want to, and to the point to where you can't even really voice your opinion about what's going on. I just had a long conversation on Facebook with a white guy who I consider my friend. And he got angry with me at one point, but I understood it. See, for me, it's easy because I understood that he doesn't understand what's happening. Right. And my point wasn't trying to get him to agree with it. My point, and at the end of the conversation, he finally got it, was simply why what's happening, the reason why it's going on. That was my only point. I don't need you to agree with it. I just want you to understand why it's happening. These people ain't doing this just out of the blue. And these people ain't doing this just because of one incident.
Right.
This is, and the reason why, yes, you have people that came from out of town to do it. Why? Because this is not just a Minnesota problem. This is an American problem. So, yes, you had people come from all over the country to come to Minnesota to burn stuff up. Then they went back to their city and burned some stuff up. Because this is an American problem. And until it's addressed as an American problem, then all skin folk ain't kinfolk. There you go, Nick. Right there. Right there. This situation right here, man, I'm telling you, it showed me some things about some folks that had me looking like, I can't even believe I dealt with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even believe, like, I don't even really want to do business with you for real. You know what I'm saying? Because I see how you are. I see when stuff hit the fan, I see the side you're going to pick. This straddle, it's time out for this straddling the fence stuff. And once again, to any white people listening, this ain't got nothing to do with you, what I'm talking right now. I'm talking about amongst black people. If you get offended at this, it's your problem, not mine. I'm talking to black people. We have got to pick a side, and we have got to stop straddling the fence. Period. Just period. And I'm talking about, y'all listen, this is, we've made it black and white and cop against folks and all that, but y'all, this is just right and wrong.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just
You know what I'm saying?
It's
It's just it's right or wrong, man. The stuff your mama taught you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
And because of that, is what makes it easier for me. Is why I don't have to worry about offending nobody. Because if you get offended from simply me talking about what's right, then I can't help you. That's the issue you got to deal with. I'm simply talking about what's right. Period.
Right.
The looting, the rioting, and all that, man, it's not the ideal situation. No, it's not. But I get it. When people get pissed off and people get frustrated and they at their wits' end, just like when your child done pissed you off all day, you've been telling that child all day to sit down and be quiet. That child ain't sat down to be quiet. So now you got to turn up.
Right.
See, that's like when you come home with Tanya and she be like, hey, you get them.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Steve come home, man, Tanya, the lemonade all over the place, mask scattered all over the house, man, got embroidery stuff laying all in the floor. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't let me stop before I get Steve in trouble because I do not have another bed for him to come sleep in. So,
but look, I agree. My cousin down there.
We ain't doing that. Put the lemonade down. I ain't got none. I don't want to see it. Put it down. I don't even want to see it. No, sir. Hey, I've been trying to get lemonade. See, y'all finna get me off on a whole nother thing. We talking about the riots right now.
Okay, my bad.
Because we gonna come back to the lemonade though.
Ernest said, and I agree with him. What is the ideal situation? There's no such thing as the ideal situation.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. This is not the ideal situation, but there isn't one. So that's why I can't criticize what people are doing. That's my point exactly. Even if I don't agree with it, I can't criticize it because I don't have another solution. I don't have an alternative, and I don't know what the ideal situation would be. So therefore, it is what it is. Now, I tell people, if you can come up with a different solution, an alternative, if you can tell me something that people can do that have not been done that will get people to listen to what we are trying to say, I am all ears. But until then, shut up and get out the way and let these people do what folks want to do. Period.
Now, I will say this, James, and like I said earlier, this should be a eye opener or a precursor to whatever goes down in the trial of this. If you think it's, I'm gonna say it again, if you think it's civil unrest now, if all of these guys don't go to jail and get charged, and especially the one that actually did the knee on the neck, because they've given him, this dude, third-degree murder. Do you know third-degree murder ain't really third-degree murder? Really?
It doesn't say intent.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, so look, if this guy doesn't go to prison, I feel sorry. If you think it's a ride now, get ready. You're gonna need the National Guard. Ernest says, how do we maximize the opportunity now? I throw it out there. I don't know, Ernest.
How do we maximize the opportunity? All right, well.
Hold on, let Pastor Lovejoy get let Pastor Lovejoy get some.
Come on, man.
So do you want me to answer that gentleman's question? Or
Yeah, you can answer that question, or if you want to talk about something else. But yeah, go ahead, go. I want to get you in the conversation.
Before I answer his question, let me just say this, and I just want you guys to just think about this. I want you to ponder on this tonight. You remember there was a gentleman by the name of Zinnerman who killed a young brother who was wearing a hood. Watch what happened, because there was such an outrage and an outcry in the Black community. Remember, they did something to pacify us. And I want y'all to see the trend here. The trend is, okay, let's charge him with murder in the third degree to pacify you. It's going to trial, but question, was Zinnerman convicted or was he just charged?
Just charged.
So they do things, listen to me. And guys, I have to say this because I have some wonderful white people that go to my church who serves with me. And I have to say this, not in their defense, but I have to say this because I don't want to make it seem like I'm talking extreme asceticism here. But we have to address the issue at hand. I think what has happened is that they charged that gentleman with murder in the third degree to pacify us. Would simply suggest that in the trial, the judge has the right to do house arrest or probation. They don't have to sentence him. And I think they did it to set us up to say, yay, they charged him because we said charge him. But in actuality, it's strategic, y'all.
Yeah,
it's strategic to get us to shut up for a moment.
They setting it up for a letdown.
They are setting it up. And I would be surprised because even if they charge him with murder in third degree, there's only so much time he's gonna do.
It's 25 years
for a murder.
So listen. So don't allow
Maximum.
this. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just talking about your audience. Don't allow this to be a ruse that we're being pacified. We have been pacified like we have been pacified for some 250 years.
Come on.
Okay, can I go to my next point?
Yeah.
The military. And I want you guys to answer this for me. What is the purpose of military at large? Is it to protect these people who live within a certain country? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
To fight outside wars, but go ahead.
To fight outside wars. So listen to this. You can send the military in to protect buildings, but you can't send the military in to protect lives. When the military was created to protect lives.
Right.
And so go ahead.
They're here to defend the Constitution.
Right. But watch this. Now you got to still see it though.
Right.
You're not even considered
a man.
A man.
A full man.
Under the Constitution.
So why are you surprised that they're not protecting you when they never saw you as being a human? So I'm not saying stop having expectations, but okay. And to answer that gentleman's question, here's what I think needs to happen. There has to be someone who rises up with a voice to take Steve's, James, Mario's passion and create a synergy. I alluded to it like this. Light is abstract, but when you bring it together, it creates a laser. and that particular life that was once abstract now can cut through steel. I'm simply suggesting to you that if we bring all of our ideas and we're willing, listen to me, and we're willing to listen to the voice, a person who has a voice, and say, bring me your passion, bring me your passion. This is how we're going to solve our problem. Synergy. I think we can cut through this thing called the system. And let me just say, when I say the white man, I'm talking about a system that has been put in place, not a person, but a system that has been put in place. And whether you like it or not, to James' end, I'm not talking about black and white. I'm talking about what is good, whether it's right or what's wrong. That's what I'm talking about.
I believe this has been a great conversation tonight, guys. I'm going to start wrapping it up. I do want to talk about the charges just for a quick second. That third-degree charge has a maximum sentence of 25 years. There was also, I believe, one for manslaughter. The one that they gave him was the least one that they felt that they could charge with, which is bullcrap to me, because you have to prove intent. Which I think the narrative now was beginning to change, because now we find out the two men work together in a nightclub as bouncers. So now we're moving to the issue of knowing one another. So might could help lead to intent if we find out there's more than just him being a black man and him being a white man. Now we find out there might be something else. Also, I want to talk about the president for all the Uncle Ruckuses that love to protect the president. The president's been silent for a couple of days since he's talked about sending out dogs and oh my God, ominous weapons, and the looting will begin when the shooting will begin when the looting begin. Anybody want to say a couple things on that, because we're going to be shutting down here in just a minute. And then does anybody want to respond to Mr. Ernest?
Let me respond to Ernest.
The Trump supporter on the page address that. James, go ahead.
First of all, I ain't listen right now, and this is just me. I ain't listening to nothing Donald Trump has to say, because all this is bigger than him. I don't care what he's got to say, what he's doing. My mind isn't focused nowhere on him. We know he's gonna say something stupid and ignorant. That's him. That's been him. Whatever. To address Ernest. So I hear you about the vote thing, but the issue right now is we need candidates to vote for. We need viable candidates to vote for. For way too long, we have been voting for the lesser of two evils. The continuation of that is not going to get us anywhere. Right now, and this should be showing us, we need, if we're going to use voting as a way to deal with this, then we need to have candidates that have Black issues as their primary concern. Otherwise, go out and vote, do your thing, but we're going to get more of the same. Because right now, all we're doing is accepting what is given to us. We're not trying to groom any candidates. We're not trying to raise up any candidates. We're not doing none of that. All we're doing is we're just taking whoever steps in, looking around, saying, "Oh, okay, you seem cool. We need to we gonna back you," and then we end up with the same, more of the same. I see your comment. Let me tell you something. I've already told Mario and Steve told me I couldn't run for president. Other guys told me that they would not vote for me. So, because I was going to write myself in, and I told them they can write me in as president. Oh, not national. Not national. Okay, I got you, Ernest. Ernest said not national. I got you. But either way, I don't think Steve and Mario would vote for me. If my brothers won't vote for me, then I think I'm just.
Yeah, we'll be the only two. Besides you, we'll be the only 2 votes you get.
I'll vote for you, James.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's time to see. It may be time to turn up for real. But
Whatever,
Ernest, to address that, I'm definitely not a politician. I don't have the faith in the political system that other people do. That's just my opinion. Um, that's just me. But what I'm saying is that voting fine. If voting is going to work, but we're going to have to start. We're going to have to get candidates that we can vote for. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we got to stop the. We're going to have to start like if people like Joe Biden are going to assume they have our vote, then we have to start making people like Joe Biden address our issues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what has to happen. If we know, like right now, everybody's saying I'm gonna vote for Joe because we got to get Trump out of there. Right now, we need to be telling Joe Biden, you hear what we're saying, but you need to be trying to address some of these issues. Somebody
Right.
needs to be asking Joe Biden, why didn't he speak on this the day that it happened? Why didn't he raise his voice the day this happened? Why wasn't you saying something? Why did you allow this idiot of a president to speak before you on this issue?
Well, he didn't really speak. He tweeted.
Whatever.
right.
Whatever he did. Joe didn't do
He
nothing.
lifted his he thumb
Joe
thugged.
Joe didn't do a thing right after telling us we ain't black if we don't vote for him. He didn't do a thing.
Well,
This was his
I'm
change.
telling you, I'll say this. Joe's probably gonna get the seat, but he's only holding it for Cuomo. He's gonna hold it till Cuomo gets ready to run.
You think
And that's
so?
gonna be your next. That's gonna be your next Democratic presidential candidate. Mark my word. This day, 5/31/20.
I don't think Cuomo gonna run.
I don't think he's gonna run either.
Okay.
I
don't think
think
so.
once again though, Mario, listen, and I get it. I think Cuomo's a good guy. I get it, but does he have black issues? See, we need you see we gotta get these folks talking about some black issues. Like I like Como.
I
Don't get
agree.
me wrong. Como's a cool dude.
I
I
agree.
really do like him. But we got to get these folks talking about some black issues. Like I
I'm saying
understand.
that to say. I'm saying that to say, if you see that coming down the pike, you need to start putting the pressure on it. That's all
Right.
I'm saying. Ahead
Right.
of time, you know, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If we see that to be the case, then we need to start putting that pressure on him
Right.
early in the game to get that on his mind.
Like right now, man, we should have so much. We should have we should have so much pressure on Joe Biden right now.
But here's the thing. And I think now that we have the world's attention, man, we really need somebody to have those lists of demands and requests that we can hand to them. Because right now we're so scattered, man, that we need that one unifying voice to say, okay, Biden, world, this is what we need to survive in this country. This is what we need. And we need to start shutting this down. I'm about to shut it down, guys. Pastor Lovejoy. We're about to end this. I like to do parting words. About 15 more. We got 15 minutes. I want everybody to at least get a word in about what's on your heart. If you want to speak to us, you want to pray for us, whatever you want to do, take about 5 minutes and go for what you know. Quick round, go.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
I'm tired of praying.
There it is.
There it is. Mario?
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know, man. I think I said everything I needed to say during the show, man. People, we're tired. We're ready for a change. We need somebody. We need a focused leader to get us through this, to galvanize this thing and make all of this that's happening worth it. Other than that, I hope this is not all for naught. All of this rioting and all of this other stuff that we're doing. I hope it's not all for naught. Go ahead.
So yeah, I agree with Mario. Y'all, let's make sure this isn't all for nothing. Let's make sure something comes of this. I will tell people that are protesting, that may get in some riots and everything. Let's be mindful of human life. I know you're angry and you're pissed off and you're frustrated. But what happens is that when you start to do too much, is that it's going to take away from the actual big picture. We know that there are people out there that have separate agendas. We know that there are people out there that are wanting to sabotage the protests, that are causing some of these issues. So we got to be careful of that, man, and we got to watch out for that. If you see that kind of stuff, you got to put an end to that stuff, because it's going to distract and it's going to pull away. You got to remember, man, please, you got to remember that the focus is getting the attention and getting what we need and getting justice. Okay, the justice is not going to come just from the violence alone. Okay, the violence is not going to bring the justice. What's going to bring the justice is, first of all, consistency. So if we're protesting now, when these 3 cops get arrested, if they get arrested, we need to stay very vigilant and continuing with demanding certain things from our police force. So my thing is, let's not let it just die away when this happens. We need a continuous, consistent. We can call it a protest or whatever, but it needs to continue, because these issues are going to continue. What happens is we get pissed, we get upset, little something happens, we get cool, we die down. We get pissed again, we get frustrated, something happens, we die down. The die down part is where we're killing ourselves. We got to stop that. We got to keep rolling, okay? We got to keep going and keep this thing up, keep the level up. We got to make sure that these people understand that we're serious. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that they understand this ain't about taking no TV out of flipping Target. This ain't about no material stuff. Yes, some folks stole some stuff, whatever. This ain't about that. Because when all this is over with, guess what? We still gonna be here trying to make sure y'all understand, man. This stuff gotta stop. Trump knows he's going to be voted out. Trump preparing to call a martial law. Movies don't lie. The purge is what's being signed. Remember? Well, listen. I hope the purge don't happen, because there's going to be probably a lot of black folks coming at me too. So, I don't really need a whole purge. I ain't ready for that. I'm going to Mario house and hide out. He got to know. We going.
All right, guys. So, my last thing is, man, everybody's kind of said what I'm saying. I'm tired of praying. I'm ready for some action, to fight the systems that are against us, and hopefully, as Mario and James have said, we got to keep this moving. And from these ashes that's been burning our cities, man, something to rise up out of it. We need that leader to rise up. We need some people to rise up and have a voice and be one voice, that we can have start having candidates that are worth sending to Washington, D.C. Now, look at this, guys. A lot of this starts with our local governments. We need y'all to vote in your local systems, your governors, your dog catchers, your water people, whatever. We need to have viable candidates in those positions also. So if you're burning with fire right now, look for an office to get into, or find somebody to get in the office, because what happens at the local level filters up to the national level. All right. Mm-hmm. It's been a great show, guys. It's been a wonderful show. There's so much still I want to say, but man, we've been out hit this thing for an hour and 48 minutes, and I gotta go. I'm an essential worker. So, Pastor Lovejoy, we thank you so much. We want to thank everybody for being on. Nakia, Tremaine, thank you for coming. Carlton, man, thank you. Ernest, bless you, man. Thank you, McLeonard, man. Kenneth, everybody's been on tonight. It's been a wonderful show. Remember, we're here every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Central, because if you do it Eastern, you're gonna miss us by an hour, and if you do it any other time, you're gonna be too early.
Right.
So we're here every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. I do want to do a plug on the best lemonade you have ever tasted in your life. I am drinking mango flavored Myers Ultimate Lemonade. Yo,
I'll give you a little,
Dave.
I'll give you a little some.
You got
Y'all
that
did
work.
good.
It was good.
Now this is what I had to do. If you buy a 16-ounce, what is this? 16-ounce bottle?
Yeah.
Cut it in half, add water. You actually have 32 ounces here. I promise you, it was sweet. It was good.
You a pump.
I had to say something about my shirt right here, Steve. Then we get out of here. My wife made this shirt. This is Script Studio. You hear we march, y'all mad. We sit down, y'all mad. We speak up, y'all mad. We die, y'all silent.
Wow.
Here you go.
Wow.
There it is right there.
There it is. Pastor Lovejoy, we thank you so much, man, for being on, bro. We might have to make it to 4 black guys when you come on, dog.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me, guys. I enjoyed it. I did.
James, man, you want to say anything about Daylight Studios?
Yeah, Daylight Media Concepts. Y'all just go to YouTube, check it out, man. Go to YouTube. Daylight Media Concepts. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube.
Pastor Lovejoy, you got any business you want to plug while we got some people in here?
Absolutely not, man. I'm just grateful to be here on the show, and thank you guys for having me. So
all right.
I really appreciate it. Please invite me back because I got passionate about that. So please invite me back, man.
You might be on next Sunday, so don't hey.
Thank you, man.
Everybody put your 3s up. 3 Black Guys show. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Bless y'all. Stay safe, man. Love you, black men.
All right, brother.